Hey up everyone, welcome back to the Rugby League History channel. I hope you're all well on this Monday. Tonight's video is going to be my round 16 tips for the NRL 2020 competition. So I'm going to get into it right now with the first match, which is kicking off on Thursday night. Thursday morning my time, which is Parramatta against South Sydney. This game's being played at Bankwest Stadium. So Parramatta had the 14-0 win over Melbourne last week, and South Sydney absolutely demolished Manly, 56 points to 16. I'm going to go for Parramatta to win this game. I think we're going to win it between 1 to 6 points. It's not going to be an easy match. South Sydney have quite a good record over us. We've only beaten them 5 times since 2010, although in some of those years we were quite poor on the field. We were down towards the bottom of the table. But even before then, Souths always seemed to rise to the occasion and used to upset us a couple of times, even when we were on the top and they were on the bottom. I think Souths will give it a red hot go on Thursday night, but I think I can see us winning. It's not going to be a big blowout score. It's going to be a really tough game, but I see us just getting over the line against Souths. The first match on Friday night is St George against the Gold Coast, and this one's being played at Congra Oval. St George had that win over Brisbane last week. It was a bit of a hard fought win in the end. It wasn't all one-way traffic against Brisbane, and the Gold Coast, they had a loss against Canberra. St George are a real good chance of making the top 8 now, with Cronulla, West and Manly all losing around them. All they have to do is just keep winning and just hope that Cronulla and the clubs around them keep losing, and they're right in it. I think that they're a real outside chance of making the top 8. I think out of all the clubs outside the top 8, St George look like the only ones that can do it, and I'm going to pick them to beat Gold Coast on Friday night. The main game on the Friday night sees Eastern Suburbs play against Brisbane. This one's kicking off at 55 past 10 or 5 to 11 my time, and I think 8 o'clock in Sydney. This match has been played at the Sydney Cricket Ground as well, the Old Lady. As I said in the last couple of weeks, I can't tip Brisbane for the rest of the year. They've been diabolical. Last week they tried a bit compared to other weeks. They were in that match against St George for parts of it, but I don't see them beating Eastern Suburbs on Friday night. They looked really good against West Tigers last Saturday, and I think they're going to continue that with another win over Brisbane on Friday night. The first match on Super Saturday sees New Zealand up against Newcastle, and this one's being played at Scully Park in Tamworth. Newcastle had that win over North Queensland 14-0 or 12-0 I think it was, and New Zealand had that win over Canterbury. They come from behind in that match. I'm going to go for the upset in this game. I'm going to go for New Zealand to beat Newcastle. I just have a feeling that New Zealand's going to pull off another upset. They've done it quite a bit this year. Some of the games that they've won, they've really dug deep, and they've been games that they haven't been expected to win or expected to do well in, and I think that they're going to get a win over Newcastle in the first match on Super Saturday. The second match on Super Saturday sees Cronulla Sutherland up against North Queensland. This match has been played at Congra Oval, Cronulla's temporary home ground. As I said with Brisbane, I can't tip North Queensland for the rest of the year. I think they're one of the big disappointments of the 2020 NRL season. Cronulla, well, they got smashed last week against Penrith, but they're not playing against Penrith this week. They're playing against a struggling North Queensland side that haven't won in nearly 2 months. So I'm going to go for Cronulla to beat North Queensland on Saturday night at Congra Oval. And the final match of Super Saturday sees Penrith up against West Tigers. This match has been played at Penrith Stadium. Penrith, they're runaway minor premiers at the moment. It's their minor premiership to lose, I think. All they have to do, I think, is just win maybe 2 or 3 more matches and they've got that minor premiership sewn up, and West, I think that their season's done. They did admittedly come out in the second half against Eastern Suburbs. They threw the ball around a bit, they looked a bit better in attack, and they got right back into that match until they just fell away again badly. I can't tip West Tigers, I think, for the rest of the year either. So I'm going to go for Penrith to win this game, and I think they're probably going to win it 13 plus. The first match on Sunday sees Melbourne up against Manly Warringah, and this game's being played at the Sunshine Coast Stadium, which is Melbourne's temporary home venue while Victoria is going through the COVID-19 situation. Like West, like North Queensland, like Brisbane, I don't think that I can really tip Manly that much for the rest of the year. They were really disappointing last week against South. Even though I went for South, I expected a lot closer affair than what was shown. I really worry for Manly in this game. I think if they're not careful, if they don't show up, and if they're not 100% committed, this could get really ugly against Melbourne on Sunday afternoon. And Melbourne's going to have some of their players back as well. And I think if they're not careful, this could be a real bloodbath. So I'm still predicting Melbourne to win by at least 13 plus, but hopefully for Manly fans out there, it's not a repeat of last week. And the final game on the Sunday, and the final game to close out the round, is Canberra up against Canterbury Bankstown. This match has been played at Bruce Stadium. Canberra had that good win over the Gold Coast, and they're just outside the top four. And Canterbury, once again, it's another game where they should have won against New Zealand, and at the moment it's like they've forgotten how to win a game, how to close it out, and the way that they're playing kind of reminds me of Parramatta in 2018, because if you go back in that season, there's so many games that we were in front, or we should have won, and we just couldn't hold on to a lead, and we just couldn't close out games, and that's the reason why we come last. And I think Canterbury, they've blown a couple of chances to get off the bottom of the table, because all they need like is just one win, and I think Brisbane's going to come last. But for some reason at the moment, Canterbury just can't find a way to win. They just can't get that victory, and I don't see them beating Canberra on Sunday down in Canberra. I think they're just going to have too much for Canterbury, and I think it could be another blowout if Canterbury's not careful as well. So that's my tips for round 16 of the NRL 2020 season. I hope you liked the video. If you did, click that like button. If you're enjoying the content that I'm making on the channel, click that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you get an email when I do a new video. But as always, everyone, look after yourselves, have a good week, and I'll catch you all later. Ta-ra.